All, I want to congratulate Coach McElwain and his staff and his players for a great job. Tremendous performance by them. Pretty good shape to win the East. I know it's not a certainty yet, or maybe it is, I don't know. But they certainly took a great step in that direction. Come in year one and do that is pretty impressive. And my hats off to him and his staff. And I think we all feel that way in our locker room. Obviously, extremely disappointing loss, painful. It's one of those times where you got to guard your words. So I'm going to do my best to guard my words tonight. But I do feel like a lot of guys from wearing the red and black played their hearts out, played their guts out. And that was a good thing. With that, I'll let you all ask what you want.
Mark said, what was the logic on starting without the recess? How that is
Well, Fatone was a guy that even in the very beginning, when we were trying to decide who was going to be the starter, was right there. Very close competition. We weren't making anything up when we said it was hard to decide who to start. And, you know, I think Fatone, we got to a point where we thought it was time to make a change. And because it was such a close competition throughout camp, we thought that Fatone ought to get an opportunity. He's a tough kid. He's a competitor. He's a guy that has worked his tail off for an opportunity like that. Not that just because you work hard, you deserve to start. That's not the case. But he had done enough in practice, even handling the disappointment of not being the starter, maybe even handling the disappointment of not being second team for that matter at one point. He just kept battling away, he kept performing, and you know, we felt like he gave us the best chance this game.
Mark, did you at all consider making a change at halftime, and if not, why not?
Well, I think we did not really have a big discussion about that. I felt like we were still in position to, you know, turn it around. And, you know, I didn't see every single ball that he threw and saw. I didn't see every decision, you know, like you can from a coach's copy of video and all that kind of thing. But I knew that a couple balls were dropped that he had that might have helped us out a little bit. I know at least one of the balls was tipped. That was a pick. So I didn't think it was time to have that knee-jerk reaction. Coach QB's a long time, and I've seen guys that fight through it. And I know that one thing I know about Fatone is he is a really strong competitor and a guy that won't you know, wilt under the pressure. He kept battling, but you know, I don't know how many balls got tipped that got picked. I mean, or a ball that, you know, went off of the hand of one of our receivers and got picked. He didn't throw many in their gut. There's been a few of those happening around Georgia the last few ball games, and that's part of the reason why we made a change.
Mark, your teams have always been able to move the ball. This team has really struggled over the last few weeks. What has gone wrong?
Yeah.
Have you missed Nick Chubb that much?
Well, we missed Nick. We missed Nick. Nick's a great ball player and a tough kid. A guy that can, you know, make things happen. If you just get a hat on the right folks. But I think it's just a total a situation where everybody has some ownership in it. Myself as head coach, our coaches offensively, and our players too. You know, we gotta do a better job of executing what's called. We gotta do a better job of you know, getting our hat on the right people, getting movement. That's linemen, that's fullbacks, it's tight ends, receivers. I mean, everybody blocks. Everybody's got to block to run the ball well. And obviously we need to protect. We need to get guys open and put it on them. We got to catch them when the ball comes. We just had so many near misses. Too many near misses. You can't afford. You got to have precision. And if you don't, it's going to look like it did. I don't know what we'll do. We definitely got to side on that, but I wouldn't say that he is. I won't say that he won't.
To be clear, Lambert was not hurt or suspended or?
No, Lambert's fine.
Can you talk about Bryce? When did he win the punting job? And can you talk about his performance?
Well, we were having some issues in that at that position, just the consistency that we're looking for, and Bryce has been our backup guy on the road, so to speak. At home, you've got actually Bryce was the traditional punter as a backup, and we had Marshall Morgan doing rugby kicks in case something happened. You always got to do what do we do in case something happens? And you know, Bryce actually he would just show up for 1 or 2 punts a week, basically, maybe 3 a week. He started hitting them. Like, wow, this kid not bad. And then during the open day, with the 20-hour rule, you got a lot of extra time, so we went out there one day and just kind of watched him. And he performed well, and well enough for us to say, you know what, if he can put the ball where it belongs, because there's, in punting, the way we do it, and the way a lot of people do it in America, if you're in the shield, a lot of times you'll turn your protection a certain way, and you want the ball punted at a certain spot. So 1/3 of the field you want to cover. You don't want the ball to, you don't want to expect a left punt and shoot, it shows up over there, then you have a hard time covering the thing. So part of it is getting the height and getting the distance, but another part of it is the direction that we're trying to get the ball kicked. And even when we were working with him on that, he was very accurate on having the ball land where we wanted it to land. Even on the bad kicks or his miss hits that were, you saw a couple spirals, tonight that were actually, pretty good bombs, and you saw some that were end over, and it wasn't perfect. The first punt wasn't perfect by any means, but it was sorry enough that it landed short and it rolled, for a 50-yard punt or whatever. And that'll happen from time to time. But at least the direction of where the ball was going is what we wanted. I thought he did a nice job tonight.
Mark, two quick, kind of easy part of touchdown, you don't follow
Right. Yeah, I mean, we certainly, our defense, I thought really played pretty darn good, considering. And towards the end, I think, it's tough, to continue to play that hard when the circumstances are what they were, but they battled it, they just battled till the end, and it was very impressive what they did. But yeah, we never got them in position where they had to sweat it out, and even in the second half, if we go 20-10, even 26, we're sitting there with a two-score game, not that they'd be sweating it, but it's like, okay, there's still, 10 minutes to go, and 2 scores, that's not the first time somebody's come back from that type of deficit. So, but we never got them in a position where they had to sweat it out a little bit offensively. It was just a nice cushion the whole way through, and part of it was our miscues, but a lot of it was just them executing as well. I don't want to take away at all from their victory what they did. I said that we need to be men about this. We need to guard our words, because in emotional times things get said, things get tweeted, things get out there that most of the time you regret. In the heat of a loss like that, or you can really feel a certain way, and then maybe the next day not feel quite the same. But we know the season's going to continue. It's not going to end. We know that we need to get back to work and get ready for Kentucky. It's just. I told them that's football and that's life. There's a lot of disappointing things that happen in football. A lot of disappointing things that happen in life, and you can't lose your composure, or you can't lose your integrity, through the process, or at least damage it.
Mark, I want to first, I think, again, that's what you had to do, that the was really strong on that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of struggling when you go through
Yeah, no shot, there's no shot at that, I don't think. That's when you gotta just decide, you know, how you're gonna perform and how you're gonna prepare when the main goal is gone. I mean, what are you gonna do now? You gotta keep battling. That's life.
There were several times in third, fourth down in the red zone. You guys just did pick up a yard or two.
Right, disappointing.
What do you think all that comes down to? Is it just
Getting whipped up front. I'm not gonna say who's, I'm not exactly sure, but their line whipped our line. That's what happened. And sometimes, you know, sometimes the bag doesn't hit the right spot, and I'll say that too. But, you know, most times, if you can't get that short yardage situation, you're probably not moving anybody off the line of scrimmage, or if you do, you got a back that just can't find it. You know, that happens from time to time as well. But, you know, again, my hats off to them for playing good defense at that point. Oh, yeah. I mean, you put your heels at 10, you know, you're supposed to put your heels at 10. If it goes over your head, you let it go. That's just basics. And I think he might have touched it around the 4 or something like that. So, obviously, it was a bad decision. He knows it. I mean, I don't have to sit here and hide that. Everybody knows that you should let that ball go if you know football.
McKenzie not able to return points yet?
He was. But Reggie's always been the guy in that situation anyway. The guy to make the right decision on the short pooch kicks or whatever you want to call them. That's always been his role.
Mark, what do you do in this rest of the season to stem, you know, the criticism that's sure to come your way? Is that what you're talking about when you're talking about guarding your words?
Well, I think it's part of being in a leadership position. It's, if you are a leader in any way, shape, or form, you're going to be criticized in good times and bad times. And that's part of it. And it's just like if you're a parent that tells your teenage kid to be in at 11 o'clock and everybody gets to stay out till midnight, you know, they don't like that decision. They're going to criticize. It's just kind of part of it. And our jobs as head coaches are very, very public and very, very emotional because you have so many people that care so much about their program. And so that's part of it.
Last question.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of plays that are QB reads where you end up handling the ball depending on how the defense plays. So if the defense would really chase the back on a few occasions, he probably ran it a few more times. So, you know, sometimes having a guy like that in there will hold the defensive end at bay because he's thinking he may be a runner, and then it will just allow our running back to have more space to run the football.
Thank you.
Thank you.